Something is going on behind the scenes, and the audience can feel it in their bones. Because this whole situation, the delayed ratings, the confusion, the missing numbers, the silence, the strange timing, has everybody looking around, scratching their heads, and asking the same exact question. What is really happening with this show? And the thing is, nothing about this makes any sense whatsoever. The more you look at the details, the more you pay attention to the patterns, and the more you compare what normally happens to what actually happened these last few weeks, the more suspicious the entire situation becomes. So today, I'm breaking it all down, from the delays to the fake holiday special, to the cast's energy, to the network's motives, to the twist that ties everything together. And trust me, you're going to want to stay until the very last sentence, because it gets crazier the deeper we go. Now, let's get into it. The first thing we need to talk about is the ratings, because the ratings have not just been messy, but a complete disaster. And when I say disaster, I'm not exaggerating in the slightest. Who goes almost 2 full weeks with no ratings? Who forgets to release viewership numbers for a show that used to be the network's centerpiece? And who pretends like an entire episode didn't even air? It almost feels like someone, somewhere behind the scenes, was trying to quietly sweep something under the rug, hoping viewers would be too distracted, too busy, or too uninterested to notice. But that plan failed instantly because viewers noticed immediately. Fans noticed instantly, and anyone who closely follows the show noticed the second the usual release window passed. Normally, the ratings come out quick, fast, consistent, predictable, but this time there was nothing. No announcement, no update, no statement, just silence. Days went by and still nothing. A week went by and still nothing. People were left asking the same questions over and over online. Where are the ratings? Did the show flop this week? Are they trying to hide the numbers? Did something go wrong? And yet nobody from the network or production said a single word. And here's where the story gets even weirder. The only ratings they had released were from the November 15th episode. After that, everything suddenly went blank, like someone just unplugged the system. And that's when the confusion turned into suspicion. Because if this show is supposedly doing so well, like the producers keep claiming, then why were the ratings suddenly missing? Why was everything delayed to the point of looking intentional? Why were we left with a nearly 2-week blackout of numbers? None of it felt normal, none of it felt random, and none of it felt innocent. Eventually, after almost 2 full weeks, the ratings finally dropped. But when they did, the numbers told a story that created even more questions. The show jumped from 200,000 viewers to 278,000 viewers, which is a jump of 78,000 people. And on the surface, that sounds fantastic. That sounds like growth. That sounds like momentum. But when you stop and think about what's been happening, the silent delays, the declining energy, the cast issues, production struggles, messy storylines, and complete lack of engaging content, that sudden jump doesn't feel organic. It doesn't match the audience's mood. It doesn't match the online engagement. It doesn't match the lack of trending conversations. It doesn't match anything happening in the real world around this show. And then there's the demo. The demo went from 0.06 to 0.09, which sounds impressive until you realize the show is now ranking number 199 out of all TV shows airing on that date. And yes, being number 1 on your network sounds great until you look at the bigger picture. The entire network is struggling. The numbers across the board are down. Shows like Ready to Love are hovering around 239,000 viewers. America's Funniest Home Videos is barely over 113,000. So being number 1 on a lineup that's sinking doesn't exactly mean the ship is thriving. If anything, it highlights how much the entire network is gasping for air, and the audience feels it. Viewers are tired, they're drained, they're frustrated. They're saying the show has lost direction, lost momentum, lost authenticity, and lost its spark. And that brings us directly to the next point, because the ratings weren't the only thing missing these last few weeks. The heart of the show itself is missing too. Let's just tell the truth. The show has not been the same since Melody Shari stepped back, and anyone who has watched from the beginning knows that. Mel was the anchor, she was the emotional center, she was the storyline generator. She brought real life to the show. She brought the highs, the lows, the raw moments, the transparency, everything that makes a reality show real. Her presence didn't just elevate the show, it stabilized it. And without her, the shift has been huge and impossible to ignore. Suddenly, the cast doesn't want to film together. They don't want to show their real lives. They don't want to open up. They don't want to be authentic. They want to argue on camera, then pretend everything is fine online. They want to create drama for scenes but hide any real issues off screen. How do you build a reality show with a cast terrified of showing reality? It simply doesn't work. And instead of fixing the problem, the producers tried to distract viewers with a holiday special, which is where the situation turned from concerning to flat-out embarrassing. Now, let's talk about this holiday episode, because the entire thing was forced from start to finish. You had Christmas sweaters, fake game night laughter, staged moments, and people being placed together like they were couples, even when they clearly weren't. Martell and Destiny sitting together like some holiday duo made absolutely no sense. You can't manufacture chemistry that doesn't exist. And even the camera couldn't hide how uncomfortable and disconnected everyone looked. The wildest part was watching Carlos King in the background. He looked tired. He looked stressed. He looked like a man who realized the ship was sinking and was desperately slapping duct tape over holes. His face said everything the cast refused to say. The show is running on fumes. The fun wasn't fun. The joy wasn't joyful. The scenes weren't natural. Everything about the special felt disconnected, awkward, and painfully empty. Which brings us straight into the cast, because the cast is a huge part of this problem. The biggest issue right now is that the cast is giving nothing, absolutely nothing. Every storyline feels recycled, stale, and worn out. Martell is still repeating the same narrative he's been pushing for years, trying to paint himself as the misunderstood good guy. The Scotts are recycling the same marriage arguments they've had since season 1. Stormy looks exhausted. Courtney looks uncomfortable. Destiny shows up when the producers need filler. Tiffany and Louis barely register. Kiki pops in with over-edited conflict, and then we suddenly have Tata's mom appearing for no reason whatsoever, as if random cameos can replace genuine storylines. Everyone looks tired of pretending, tired of arguing about things they don't care about, tired of filming scenes they don't believe in, tired of acting like they're invested in storylines that feel dead on arrival, and viewers can feel it. The problem is deeper than just bad episodes. It's the fact that the show has lost authenticity. Reality TV only works when people are willing to be real, and right now, everyone is playing a character, and none of those characters are compelling anymore. Now, here's where we get to the part nobody is talking about, the reason the ratings were delayed. The delay wasn't random, it wasn't an accident, it wasn't a mistake. When a show underperforms, networks strategically delay ratings to prevent negative conversations from spreading online. They slow down the release because they know the numbers will spark backlash. They hold the ratings to let the chatter die down. They wait for the moment when the audience is no longer paying attention. But this time, the silence made everything worse. Instead of calming the fans, the delay made them more suspicious. It made people realize even the network didn't know how to spin the situation. If the ratings were good, they would have released them immediately. They would have bragged on social media. They would have posted the numbers, celebrated the success, and used it as promotional fuel. Instead, they hid them, they held them, they hesitated. Hesitation is the clearest sign a network isn't confident in what they're about to reveal. This leads to the big question everyone is now asking. What's next for the show? Because viewers can feel something is coming. Whether it's a reboot, a cast shakeup, a silent cancellation, or a soft ending, the writing is on the wall. Reality TV only survives when the cast delivers real stories. And right now, the cast is giving nothing. The network knows it, the producers know it, the cast feels it, the viewers feel it. Everyone sees the cracks forming. The ratings delay wasn't just a delay, it was a warning, a red flag, a signal that something is shifting behind the scenes. And trust me, what comes next will explain everything.